That time again, dinner time. So we are back for another episode of What's Cooking. Yay! Tonight I am making a cheesy spinach tomato pasta bake. So far I've diced up a small to medium sized onion. I've got a cast iron skillet heating over medium heat that I'm just going to drizzle a little olive oil in, probably 1 to 2 teaspoons. And I've got some water starting to heat up to a boil so I can cook my pasta. First thing we're going to do, we are going to cook the onion with some ground turkey, about a pound, in the skillet. And then while that's cooking, I'm going to cut up 3 Roma tomatoes and about 8 ounces of spinach. I'm just going to roughly chop that. So once this is done, I'll be back to show you some more. Okay, so I've got 8 ounces of penne pasta in my boiling water. That I'm going to cook only until about al dente. I don't want it too soft since we're going to pop it in the oven. My turkey and onions are about done, so I'm going to throw in a couple of teaspoons of minced garlic. I'm going to let that cook for about a minute. And while this is cooking, I'm going to get out my seasonings because I'm going to add some Italian seasoning, some chili flakes, salt, and pepper. I'm going to put that in when the spinach and the tomatoes go in. So I'm going to grab those real quick. And we are also going to add 2 cans of Italian style diced tomatoes. So that is also going to go in with the spinach and the regular tomatoes. Alright, so that garlic has been going for about a minute or so. A little less, that's fine. So I'm going to toss in these cans of tomatoes, and this is undrained. Do you want the juice in there? Because it's gonna turn into kind of like a sauce for your pasta. So you want to keep that juice in there. And then I will start adding fresh tomatoes and my spinach. If you want to, if your pan isn't real big, you can always add like a handful of your spinach, let it cook down a little bit, and then once it does, add another handful and just keep going at that rate if your pan isn't large enough to fit this all. But I think I'm going to be able to get it all in there. There. It's kind of full, but again, it will wilt down and shrink. So there's that. And I'm just going to add a little shake of chili flakes. If you want it to be a little spicier, you can definitely add more. I'm probably adding about 1/4 teaspoon. If even that, maybe 1/8 teaspoon. And then some Italian seasoning. Probably 1 to 1.5 teaspoons. And then salt and pepper to taste. I'm also going to chop up about 1/4 cup of fresh basil. This is completely optional. You don't have to do that, but I love basil, so I'm going to put some in there. So I've just pulled off about 1/4 cup here of basil leaves, and I'm just going to roughly chop those, and I'm going to let those go in the sauce with the rest of this stuff. So that now that all this is in the pan, we're going to let this simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes until those tomatoes have cooked down nicely and the spinach has wilted. We're going to check our seasonings then and see if we need to add anything else. Then we're going to get it into the pasta dish. Okay, so my noodles are done, my sauce is done. All I've done is pour, after I drain the noodles, put them in the bottom of my 9x13 that I've sprayed with some nonstick cooking spray. My sauce has been cooking for about 10 minutes, so right now I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese to this mixture and just stir that in, and then we're going to pour this over the noodles and add more cheese to the top because cheese is amazing and actually good for you as long as you don't eat too much. Cheese has really healthy fat in it, so make sure you're eating your cheese. So that's going to do that. We're going to try and do this without burning myself. I don't know how I want to do this. Alright. just gonna pour this on top if I can get it all in there. All right. Don't want to miss any of that good stuff at the bottom. That's the only bad thing about a cast iron skillet. They are so heavy that it is hard to just like pick it up and pour it in. You have to use two hands or a hand and a stomach to hold your pan. All right, so there's that. Now I'm just gonna sprinkle probably about another 1/4 cup Parmesan cheese on top. And then comes the best part that I'm like super excited about. All right. I have 8 ounces of these like fresh mozzarella pearls. I just bought the ones that are like in a little package. And we're just gonna place these all over the top of the casserole dish. And that's what we're gonna want to melt down. So I am gonna finish putting these on. I'm going to put this whole thing in the oven for probably about 10 minutes, just so the cheese can melt down and stuff. And then I'll probably just broil it for a minute or two at the end, just to kind of get that nice crispy brown cheese on top, because that's like my favorite thing. So I'm gonna finish this and then pop it in the oven. It'll be time to eat.